It's Mark at the Park Day, the final midweek game of the season for these two teams, including the Oklahoma State Cowgirls, ranked number 13 in the country, hosting the visiting Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Hello again, everyone. I'm Casey Gibbert alongside longtime SID Chris Dill. And Chris, it's going to be a fun one today. Great atmosphere. And these two teams, man, it's an in-state rival, and you just always know it when these two teams get together.
Yeah, this has been a great series dating back to 1979, and the Cowgirls lead the all-time series 40-23. But it's been great games. Back in March, the Cowgirls won 10-7, so it should be a fun night.
No doubt about it. You just feel that when these two teams get together, it's a lot of fun. And for the Cowgirls, right now, they are on an absolute tear. They're one of the hottest teams in the country.
The Cowgirls are rolling right now, and it starts with that girl right there, and Ruby Malin, hot right now. She's 16-0 during the stretch with a 1.60 ERA. And offensively, the Cowgirls are getting it done at the plate, hitting .339 as a team. Everyone's contributing, making plays, and the Cowgirls right now are right in the middle of the postseason hosting conversation.
No doubt they are. 5 Big 12 Series wins, 2 sweeps, and for Tulsa, listen, they want to get all the chips in the middle and start moving towards their conference and having a chance for postseason as well. And it starts with them, with Clara Skaggs.
Skaggs can do it all for Tulsa. Top 7 in every offensive category in the American, and the OKC native is having a great senior season, hitting .318, 9 homers, 334 RBIs, and just a bulldog at first for Tulsa.
She's got a little bounce in her step and a little smile going on, and we're going to have a fun one here today. Tulsa in town to take on the Cowgirls from Cowgirl Stadium on Big 12 softball on ESPN. Stillwater, Oklahoma, the Cowgirls hosting the Golden Hurricane. They will pick up the bats first. Glenn Skaggs, the aforementioned Skaggs, with 27 RBI, third in the American, followed by Turner, Moses, Cole, Russell, Vickery behind the dish today. The 8-hole hitter will be Ray, and Garcia will turn the order over for the Golden Hurricane. For the Cowgirls, Coach Strimple said, I think we're going to see Ruby Malin. And guess what? She was absolutely right, was she not?
Yeah, Oklahoma State going with their ace here in this midweek matchup with Ruby Malin, and Ruby's done it all. 177 strikeouts this year, 23 wins, among the national leaders in every category. Just a real stud in the circle for Oklahoma State, and as Oklahoma State, one of the hottest teams we talked about earlier.
Well, she has pitched the 8 complete games. Now, obviously, Oklahoma State would like for her not to be in this game for a complete game today, but she has pitched 8 of those, second only to Carrie Eberly, who's in the Parker, who's in the dugout for the Cowgirls now. And I mean, she's been phenomenal. In fact, until game 2 against Baylor, there had not been a non-Ruby Malin win for the Cowgirls since February 27th. They went nearly 2 months without winning a game unless she was in the circle. She has done it all for Oklahoma State.
And she wants to be in the circle. I mean, she wants the ball. She wants to compete, and you saw that against OU. You saw that against Texas, and every weekend in Big 12 play.
She is, you said, bulldog at first. Speaking of Skaggs, well, this is a great way to describe several of the ladies on both teams, but certainly that one in the circle deserves that mantra for the Cowgirls. And we are just about ready to get this one underway, as that one is hit by Mackenzie Glenn. Won't get many numbers on her into left field. Tia Warsup is over, fighting the wind a little bit, and there is out number 1. Let's take a look at the defense for the Cowgirls. Rosie Davis moving from second to third to start this season. Jones with that hose at short. Godwin went from first to second. McDonald replaces her over there. Warsup, Boston, Tim around the outfield's left to right. Hassler behind the dish tonight, getting that start. And Ruby Malin in the circle for Oklahoma State. And the first pitch to the second batter is Clara Skaggs. You mentioned her, talked about her being from Oklahoma City. Had a smile on her face, a little bounce in her step, and seemed like she was excited about this opportunity. Batting .318 coming in. First pitch was a ball. That time she cut at one out of the zone. A little rise ball that got her underneath it for strike number 1.
You know, she got hurt last year after about 19 games and has, you know, come back off the offseason and really had a great senior year.
And a terrific year for her, and the coach was so big, so high on her, talking about Coach Strimple, and what she's been able to do for this team, and she's been a big part of the successes that they have had. And looking to get back on track here and get some things going as that one is hit just right to Aubrey Jones. It's short for the easy step over catch, and 2 gone in the top of the first.
Ball right at Jones. Nice catch. 2 quick outs.
2 very quick outs, and again, great job just stepping over, sliding, and made that catch easily. The aforementioned Skaggs from Westmore High School out of Oklahoma City. That'll bring up the 3-hole hitter and the right fielder, and she will take ball 1. That aforementioned number 51, that's Amber Turner from Bentonville, Arkansas, just a sophomore, batting .269. 4 home run on the season, and she will face Ruby Malin with 2 gone in the top of the first. Here's the 1-0. That's a called strike.
Another nice crowd here at Cowgirls Stadium. Cowgirls have been setting records, it seems like, every weekend for attendance.
It's been it's a little bit of a cool night, and the wind's blowing in and right to left, so a little more complicated on these hitters for sure, as that one is chopped high. Great job, Davis. One-hands it, then throws it over across the diamond to McDonald, and the Golden Hurricane go down in order in the top of the first. Cowgirls to the bats, the bottom of 1 here in Stillwater right after this. Moving to the bottom of the first, here's the way the Cowgirls will start it. The right fielder, Claire Tim, followed by Godwin, Davis, McDonald, Amanda Hassel, last 10 games. .767 slugging percentage, been fantastic. Worship, Hoffman, Jones, and the center fielder J.L. Austin will turn the lineup around for Oklahoma State. And in the circle for Tulsa is Mara Moore, a senior. 139 2/3 innings pitched, 4.21 ERA, 10-15 on the season, and she's got some good stuff. She just probably hasn't had enough run support behind her.
Yeah, definitely mid-60s, effective kind of in that 63 to 65 range. Mixes it up. Her big thing is keeping hitters off balance and using her changeup effectively.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Strimple about that with all of her pitchers, and she did not start the first time against Tulsa, or against Oklahoma State, rather. Cowgirls didn't start Ruby Malin either, as we look at Claire Tim from Buena Park, California. Both the teams went to their second pitchers, and both teams ended up having to pitch by committee a little bit, as Ruby Malin did finish that one out against Tulsa.
You know, it's amazing how it's been a month, but these two teams are drastically different over that time period.
Yeah, some defensive changes, just, you know, obviously some changes in the circle and emphasis. And of course, here's the other thing, Chris, is that one is fouled off. These kids grow up, right? A freshman becomes a sophomore gets through a slump, becomes a junior, and all of a sudden a junior is a veteran and a senior is ancient, right? I mean, you get to this point in the season and you are just so different than you were just a few months ago.
No question, the confidence too. When you look at the numbers in conference play, confidence is high for both of these squads. I mean, the numbers, Tulsa maybe not record-wise getting the results they want, but their numbers are a lot better in conference play.
And they get in the American, and they know they have to win the conference tournament to get to the NCAA tournament. But they're a team that has the tools, can do that. It's a tough conference. I mean, throw in South Florida, Wichita State. What Coach Bredbender's done up there has been really good. And this is a good conference. Probably going to get 2 automatic bids, maybe 3 if somebody were to create an upset in the tournament. Maybe they would get the automatic bid and a couple of at-large still.
You know, for Oklahoma State, they're in the hosting conversation right in the middle of trying to get the postseason right here in Stillwater.
Claire Tim takes that one high, ball 2. You know, you look at Oklahoma State, it seems like their rankings have been slow reacting to the fact that they beat the #1 team in the country in Oklahoma, took 2 out of 3 from a very good Arizona team. They beat the #4 team in the country in Texas. Then they swept Baylor. But finally, they have elevated themselves to that point as Claire Tim takes a big hack, and she'll sit down with a strikeout. Let's take a look at this pitch here by
Just going up in the zone and a little off speed.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Golden Hurricane. Cole, Ray, Russell, and Skaggs around the bags. Vickery behind the dish. And in the outfield left to right, you will have Garcia, Glenn, and Turner. And in the circles we've already mentioned is Moore, who starts the ball game with a strikeout. And her second faced batter will be that young lady right there, Carly Godwin. Unselfishly, one of the defensive changes we talked about went from first to second, has done a terrific job there, has great power, 6 home runs, 22 RBI, batting .314 on the season, and takes ball 2.
You know, Godwin hitting .333 over the last 14 games during this hot stretch.
Been phenomenal. You know, Chris, you talk about moving from short to third. Probably not a huge deal. It's a little, you know, the throws may be a little bit different. Maybe you're working a hot corner. There are some nuances that are different. When you go from second to short, it's still up the middle. You're playing from the other side, but going from first to second, that's a pretty big ask. A
big adjustment, especially you know, just covering first on the bunt and covering the throw down.
And that hit the knob of her bat, and that'll be a strike. Initially, it looked like it hit her, but I think it hit the knob and then hit Carly Godwin. So the count will even at 2-2.
I think it's a credit to the athlete that Godwin is to be able to make that adjustment.
Well, and that's the other thing. These kids come here, and you may think of them as a position player, but when she was playing, I don't know exactly this for sure as a high school kid, but she probably played some shortstop. She probably played some third. These kids come in as athletes, and they can move, but that is so different for most players to play 2 years at first and then move to second. That's just not a normal rotation. But she's done a fantastic job in that role as her count goes full at 3-2. And that was done so that they could get the bat of Lexi McDonald, and she's been on a tear, and they needed to get her in the lineup. As there's a good AB by Godwin. Very patient, draws the walk.
It's a great walk. Get a runner on for Oklahoma State. Try to put a little pressure on early. I mean, you got 1 out, but it all starts with a base runner.
Tell you what, the last time these two teams met, Rosie Davis was phenomenal. She was 3 of 4 with 3 RBI. And she gets her first AB today. 10 home runs on the season as that one is high and out of the zone. There's a good look at Rosie Davis. Again, another one of those kids that moved across the diamond from second to third. And has made that adjustment. We were just talking about how smooth she was to finish the top half of the first with the play she made defensively as that pitch misses. Another off speed, 2-0.
Davis in that first game against Tulsa had a double and an home run. It was 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, so big day for her. But so smooth at third.
She's had that clutch at bat since the day she arrived in Stillwater. She takes that called strike 2-1. Moore looking confident. Encouraging her defense. We got this. That one is hit, flared to second. Faith able to get there, try to double at Godwin, but she is back as that'll be out number 2.
This time of day, that's actually probably a tough play with the sun. Faith did a nice job there to secure the out.
Just thinking about the shadows right now, the way that sun's coming in from the third base side. If you're on the right side, you are staring right in that sun. Again, it's cool, it's windy, very bright today. And the aforementioned Lexi McDonald. As you see the shadows working across, the batter's definitely in the shade. And this young lady from Silo, Oklahoma, she has been hot as of late.
410 over the last 14 games.
North of 400, and had a hard conversation with Kenny Gajewski. He talked to her, said, here's what I need. I need you to do these things. I need opportunity to show up. They met. It worked out. The effort was there. The production was there. And next thing you know, Lexi McDonald is starting at first for Oklahoma State. Ahead in the count here, 2-1.
That's one thing Kenny has proven his whole time is if you can be productive at the plate, he'll find a spot for you in the lineup.
He will find a spot for you and get you on that field. That one is hit right down the third base side. The throw over to first is to Skaggs. Cole made the throw, and that's out number 3. So Cowgirls will string at 1, and we've got a 0-0 score. Going to the top of 2 here in Stillwater. Back to the Red Apron. Kenny Gajewski is offensive, but his offensive numbers are outstanding. The Cowgirls chasing a lot of numbers in first, second, third in the history of this offense. I mean, those numbers speak for themselves, Chris.
Yeah, no doubt. Taking good cuts at the plate and getting it done. A lot of confidence and really turning into a historical season for the Cowgirls.
643 runs per game, number 1 RBIs per game, doubles way up there, hits per game even in the 5th category. I mean, it's been tremendous. You know, this team actually made a change with their bats. They went to the DeMarini Vision bats, and they just feel like they've got a good sweet spot. And what's crazy is, listen, if you feel like you're outfitted correctly, if that glove is good, you're going to catch better. If the unis fits better, you play better. The bat is what you want in your hand. That's what they went with, and it's worked out for them. So you got to have the right instruments.
That's all about having the best equipment, and obviously Oklahoma State's made that investment, and it's paying out. It's paying off for them.
As indeed, as Dea Moses fouls that one off of her foot for the count, even now at 1-1, batting 264 on the season. Moses, the designated player today. Tulsa looking for their first base runner of the day. That one's fouled and tipped off of the glove of Hassler. Again, Hassler getting the start today. Audrey Schneidmiller has been getting a lot of consecutive starts and has played so well. Very good defensively. Hassler's been so good offensively, but she's been in the designated player role and getting the chance to catch Ruby here. And that inside pitch looked like Moses was trying to maybe let that inside knee catch that one on the way by. But the count will leave it at 2-2.
Moses does have power. She has 8 home runs this year and 7 doubles.
Takes ball 3, and the count will run full to Moses.
Coach had some real positive comments about conference play for Moses.
She said of Moses, quiet, but a competitive, and she's a winner. Because we asked her, we had a great conversation with Coach Shrimple, and said, who's that kid that you just say, okay, I need somebody to compete? And she threw out some kids, but Moses was one of them. She said she's quiet about it, but she is a competitor.
You can tell that in just her approach at the plate. Just dialed in, and I mean, that's against one of the best pitchers in the country right there.
Yeah, not surprising that kid, that sort of reputation would reside in your 4-hole hitter. And there's a good AB for Moses as she takes the walk and becomes the first base runner for the Golden Hurricane.
Runner at first, and Cowgirl, or the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, to see if they can produce a little small ball. They played a lot of small ball last weekend against ECU, especially in game 1, the 10-inning game. They were able to produce a couple of runs and win that first game last weekend.
It's East Carolina as Macy Cole, the senior, batting .274, starts out ahead in the AB here. You saw Riley Crandall warming up for the Cowgirls in the pen. Again, I don't think they anticipate Ruby's going to be in the circle the entire game. Certainly don't want her to be. And the count 2-0, and Hassler will come out. And I think maybe some miscommunication somewhere. Not going to just draw out Hassler, but it's also going to bring Coach Parker into the circle as well.
You know, before the game, Casey, we talked about, you know, in April alone for Malin, she's pitched in 8 games. This would be the 9th. Coming in, she had 939 pitches.
That's amazing. Amazing. That's a lot of pitches.
And 62% of those are strikes.
Amazing. You know, we were doing the math. Only about 5% of the time she allowed a hit. So, I mean, she has been She has been such an incredible, we've seen that before, right? We've seen it with Carrie Everly. We saw it with Samantha Schau, but this young lady is definitely the spotlight is intense on her. And as you said, she's okay with it. She wants that. She wants the ball. Let me go. I'm good. Let's go.
And those big moments and her emotion and her reaction, this team follows her.
When she's in the circle, they just play with a different level of confidence. The 2-1. DeCole called strike 2-2.
I was trying to look to see if Tulsa was going to try to be aggressive on the base paths early in the game, but only have 11 stolen bases all year.
As you mentioned, we were talking, you caught it earlier. There's a swing and a miss as Cole strikes out, and she becomes the first out of the inning. Great job there by Ruby Malin for her first strikeout of the ball game.
That pitch right over the plate, just a little underneath it. Couldn't catch up.
Behind it as well. Yeah, you pointed this out to me. I looked at the numbers, but really didn't just hone in, as that one is going to be a soft roller to third. Davis makes the throw for out number 2, and everybody retreats to third to make sure it's covered. But they have not only have they not had many successful stolen bases, they just don't even try it very often.
Yeah, 14 attempts all season, 11 stolen bases. In comparison to Oklahoma State, 66 stolen bases this year.
Out of 78 attempts. So much different philosophy, and maybe speed is a factor in that regard, as Emma Vickery, the catcher, will try to do something with the opportunity as Moses goes to second and is in scoring position, the first base runner for either team.
Runner in scoring position for Tulsa. We talked about the Davis play at third. I mean, just making everything look easy, going to her left, making a play, and then everybody running to cover third after the play.
Yeah, a lot of communication going on there. By the way, Faith Russell, the second baseman, we didn't get a chance even hardly to mention her, as she came out swinging quickly. And now Vickery, the catcher, trying to give Tulsa an early lead. And she will be unable to do so, as that's the second strikeout of the inning. And the Cowgirls give up a runner off of the walk, but no score. We go to the bottom of 2 as we continue. This is Big 12 softball on ESPN. Malin ended up getting the win for the Cowgirls, and Moore took the loss, but neither one of those two started. Cowgirls got runs from Godwin, home runs, a couple of them from her. Davis, Hassler, McKenzie got one from Tulsa. Listen, this was not an easy game, and that's what you get every time these two teams come together. It seems like, anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a battle. Oklahoma State had to rally from behind, and Tulsa jumped out ahead, scoring 2 in the second and 3 in the third to take that early lead. And they come and they compete in this. There's a lot of Oklahoma gals on this Tulsa team that probably had thoughts of playing at Oklahoma State, Tulsa. I mean, this is a big matchup.
Undoubtedly it is, as you saw Amanda Hassler take one on the left side, got hit, and she will go to first. So Cowgirls will start again with a base runner. That'll bring up Tia Warsup, the designated player today. Excuse me, she's the left fielder.
Hassler at first, 11th time this year she's been hit by a pitch.
Looking for that number, I'm not going to lie, and it was not showing up for me over here. But yeah, so it's one of those things that I knew Hassler has had several, and not afraid to stay there and to wear it if she needs to.
And bigger thing, it extends her on-base streak to 20 games now.
Obviously, she has been, again, in a designated player role, has done a great job. That one has popped up, and the backhand fighting the sun. Cole able to get there, and then gloved it for out number 1.
Makes the play and immediately checks the runner. Make sure Hassler doesn't head to second. She called that ball was tracking it all the way.
So the Cowgirls now bring up the designated player, and this young lady that had a home run against Texas, which really gave the Cowgirls a lot of insurance. Just a youngster, came off of a injury. She's a pitcher as well. Talking about Madison Hoffman, batting .385 on the season, and count even to her 1-1. But that home run against Texas in Austin, she knew it. Hands flew up, and she was awfully excited.
Pretty special moment on the road, and you know, that's how you get a start. That's how you get in the lineup, is making the most of your opportunities. And it was pretty exciting to see her come through in that moment, and really a critical moment in that game.
Well, yeah, again, 3 runs is never enough against a team like Texas. You know they have offensive power everywhere, even with Ruby in the circle, and every run helps, and that changed that last inning for sure, as Hoffman takes the strike there. 2-2 the count to her.
Watching that game, it was pretty amazing to see the dugout and how they responded to the Hoffman home run.
It was outstanding. There's no doubt about it. As Hoffman from Lee Summit, Blue Springs South High School, 2-2. And that one a little up and away. 3-2 count goes full. We're talking about more. She's fallen behind a time or two here early in this one. Got to be careful. That's not a good way to make a living against this very offensive-minded team in Oklahoma State, which we were talking about earlier.
No, you can get in trouble real quick when you're not hitting your spots against the Cowgirls.
That one's fouled back on time, just off the end of the bat there. Flipped it straight back, and the count will stay 3-2.
When she's effective, she, keep hitters off the play or off balance and be able to attack both sides of the plate, hit her spots. And one thing I noticed when she pitched against Arkansas the other day, that she wasn't afraid to throw the changeup even on full count.
Right there, she goes right after Hoffman and gets the strikeout, and that's the second strikeout of the ball game for Moore. Take another look at this one here. Just a good fastball right down the meat of the plate. The Cowgirls advance the runner, so the Cowgirls now have Hassler at second. And just like before, the Cowgirls have, like Tulsa had, a runner in scoring position, but 2 gone here. Gonna bring up Aubrey Jones. Aubrey has, obviously we know what she's about defensively, and it's really good stuff. But that offense is coming around too. Now batting .328 in the 8th spot for Oklahoma State.
She's had a good conference season. Imagine as a freshman, just more reps, more repetition, settling in.
Even the last out against Baylor, caromed off of Ruby Malin. Ball went straight to her, kind of like the one that went off Ruby's hand here. And somehow she raced to it, took the perfect angle, flipped it over to first to McDonald. Looked like there was no way. She was called out. Coach Mason challenged it, but it was the right call on the field, and pretty amazing stuff. Her defensive arm is next level. There's no doubt about that.
Big time get for Oklahoma State and Coach Gajewski.
No doubt about it. That's exactly right. Now looking at the 2-2 count, trying to help her team out offensively. Off the plate, 3-2.
I think that's a good pitch. Stay outside. She wasn't going to do much with it if she were able to make contact.
You'd almost want to go, make them go oppo here because the wind is blowing in. You turn on one, the wind may help it a little bit today. And that was high and out of the zone. Oh, that was not called strike. Wow, want to take another look at that one when we get a chance. That's a backwards K as Aubrey Jones will sit down. She thought she had the walk, and I'm not going to lie. I thought she did too, but on second thought, looks pretty good back after this. There's a reason why she swept the awards across the nation this year, including in the conference. Again, just an incredible 3-0 week, but they just keep coming. USA Softball Player of the Year, top 25 finalists. They just keep coming, all these accolades.
No doubt, and deserving for sure. The 7th player in Oklahoma State history to actually be named to the USA Softball Player of the Year finalist list. And you know, you look at the names that she's in company with, the Shippies, the Maddie Sue Montgomerys, Eberly, Maxwell, Becker, Kilfoyle, just some great names and an elite list to be on.
You know, and it would be easy as Presley Ray, the shortstop, will get her opportunity to face Ruby Malin here. It would be easy as you see her hometown. She's from Moore, Oklahoma, just a freshman, batting 190 on the season. Ruby understands what her role is. She understands the magnitude of her game and how necessary it is for the success. You just don't get that when you're around her. She is such a sweet kid. She does not, she's not worried about all that. She's worried about team success and how far can we take this thing. And if that means I've got to go way above and beyond, that's when you know you've got a special star. When you are as heralded, depended upon, and still as humble as that young lady right there is.
Well, what an example for everybody on your team to look at and to look up to.
That one is flared out of play. No, that's a great point. That's exactly what it is. And Riley Crandall is one of her best friends on this team. And I love the fact that she said to me the other day, we are, you know, it's hard on our relationship because I want her to be so successful. And when she struggles, it's hard for her. It's hard for me. And guess what? We just keep working through it, and we just keep being great friends. And we're gonna figure it out. And the Cowgirls certainly feel like they figured some things out from this last weekend. They're going to need another pitcher. That's the thing, and we all know it. And when you look at this Tulsa team, they've got some pitching depth. They've got a little more balance. Oklahoma State still trying to find that balance as the count goes full to Ray.
No question. I think like with Presley Downing, just watching Malin and saying, you know, that is the perfect sponge to soak it up and look at it and learn from.
And there's the second walk issued by Ruby today. A little uncharacteristic there, but last inning, Dea Moses started with a walk, and now Presley Ray in the top of the third does the same. That brings up the 9-hole hitter. So Tulsa just now getting through the order here in the third. 32 pitches already. That one is fouled back by Madison Garcia. Crosby, Texas product, a junior, batting .260.
She is like a human highlight reel in ESPN. Top plays, has the speed, reads the ball well off the bat. She's made a ton of diving plays in the outfield.
Yeah, left fielder fouls that one back 0-2. We're going to take the bunt possibly out of play here, but yeah, she's made the top 10 list a couple of times, and Coach Strimple said she could have made it about 10 times. So she has made some great plays out there.
You know, she can go to her left and right at a speed to make up the ground. It's big time.
Tried to slap that one and misses for a strikeout. And second strikeout, third strikeout of the ball game as we check this one out. Just a rise ball out of the zone, trying to come underneath it. It's hard to slap, stay on top of one, a rise ball that's that high. And Garcia is not the biggest player. So high pitch, missed it, and we turn the lineup over to Mackenzie Glenn.
It's tough when your body's kind of moving away from it, trying to get down the line.
Another lefty in the lineup, starting things off here. Glenn, the center fielder, 0 for 1 today, and Coach Strimple. You know, you just know when you're talking to a coach when they're being sincere, when they're kind of frustrated. And I would say she's obviously frustrated with the results, but she talked about how much she loves this team, how much she likes being around this team, and the results are she just feels like we've just been extremely unfortunate in a lot of one-run games. In fact, I think they've had 13 one-run games this season.
And she's hopeful that as the season has gone on, They're just trying to produce runs. That's what they did last weekend. Get a couple on, see if they can get some timely hitting, which she hasn't had.
And another walk issued by Ruby Malin. So runners at first and second, an opportunity for Tulsa in the top half of the third. One gone, and another visit by Carrie Everly out to the circle. And Malin nods her head as to whatever that instruction was and says she's good to go. Again, Hassler's not been catching her a lot this season. It has been mostly Audrey Schneidmiller. So a little different there. And she has really limited the free passes over this long stretch of complete games as she's thrown, but she's already issued 3 walks today, very uncharacteristic. And that one is flared foul down the left side, hit sharply, hit into the Cowgirl bullpen by a young lady we've talked a lot about. Got some power, 9 home runs. Clara Skaggs lined out to short her first time up. She can put the Golden Hurricanes on top in a hurry here. And the wind is blowing in, though. There's a check swing. They appeal, and she did not go around. Amanda Hassler pointed to the right to the umpire at second. That's the wrong umpire there with the left-handed batter. There's a strike, 1-2.
Early in the game, trying to establish the zone, and with the home plate umpire trying to really dial that in for both pitchers.
Yeah, the strikeout pitch for the Cowgirls in the last half against Aubrey Jones, way inside. It felt way inside as that one's going to flare just foul. Great effort by Tia Warsop, laying out, trying to get to that ball, but it is foul, and the count will stay at 1-2. It was way inside. I thought it was initially, then I saw the replay, but with the parallax error and the not straight on shot, it's hard to see. Then we got another great look at it, and it was well inside. So trying to find that zone tonight a little bit, trying to find out what's a strike, what's not.
Skaggs battling at the plate, leads the team with 34 RBIs, 13 doubles. Clearly the best hitter in the lineup based off stats.
One of 3 Tulsa players hitting north of 8 home runs. First time that's happened in a long time for Coach Strimple's team. They have some power in this lineup. Skaggs a big part of that as she's got a 2-2 count. Runners at first and second, opportunity in front of her. That one's fouled in the dirt. Count will stay even. Go ahead, excuse me.
I would say both bullpens have been active so far here in the third, and you just wonder in the midweek game, like how long they're going to push each other.
Exactly right. Interesting, and again, talking to Coach Chrissy about that one is high. Count goes full. Who did she think that the Cowgirls were going to face tonight? She said, I think we're going to face Ruby Malin to start because I understand that Oklahoma State's put themselves in a hosting situation, as you've referenced several times tonight, and they don't want to slip. And so I think they're going to come out here. We're going to see their best as that one's fouled off of Skaggs' foot. You see Ruby come out of the circle, and you see that athleticism as she was getting there quickly. And the count will stay 3-2. But the magnitude of this game for Oklahoma is huge. I don't think it's quite as big for Tulsa other than building momentum getting into their last weekend conference series, because all their chips are going to be in the middle once they get to their conference tournament.
Yeah, they're looking forward to getting to Charlotte, the 3-game set, and then staying there for the conference tournament.
There's a walk, and that is the 3rd walk issued this inning by Ruby Malin. She got a walk, a strikeout, a walk, and a walk. And they're loaded up with 1 gone.
Now batting the right fielder, number 51,
that'll bring up
Amber Turner.
Another big opportunity here for Amber Turner. And there's a strike, and you know Ruby's going to come right after her right here as she's got 22 RBI on the season. Rounded out her first time up, also has 4 home runs and that 3-hole hitter, the right fielder. Ruby definitely on the offensive side now here, attacking from the circle, and gets ahead here 0-2. Got to be careful here again. Hassler's a good defensive catcher too, but she's not been catching in a while, so don't want anything to get by her here. Give up a cheap run.
Turner just a sophomore, but big moment for her here. Tulsa actually won the that first game, that 10-inning game, on a wild pitch last weekend.
Turner again out of Bentonville High School. And gets the count 2-2. So fell behind 0-2. And now the count even. That one is hit up the middle. And there's the hose of Jones. Hassler tries to get the double play. It's just a little late, but that's a great job by Jones to get the runner. And that'll be a fielder's choice for Turner.
The infield was pulled in, and really a great play by Jones. Hassler tried to turn it.
A good job by her. She had the foot on the plate, immediately had the great stance to throw it down, but the speed of Turner was able to get her there at first, and that'll bring up Dea Moses, the designated player. Again, still has opportunity with 2 gone. Takes ball 1. Moses walked her first time up. First of 4 walks in the last 2 innings for the Golden Hurricane. Been very patient at the plate.
This is the heart of the lineup. If you're Tulsa, you're excited to have this group coming up in this situation.
The pitch clock had gone to 0. Ruby called for a timeout, and the umpires now, I'm not sure what if they granted that timeout or if this is going to be another ball. And I guess did grant the timeout, and so the count stays at 1-0. The clock starts again. Hit sharply, gloved nicely by Ruby. A little flip over to first and out of trouble. After issuing 3 walks, the Cowgirls get a fielder's choice and a ground out. It's still 0-0, headed to the bottom of the 3rd. Hurricane, I sold them short on the number of 1-run games they had. They've actually had 18 games decided by 1 run. And listen, they've got a winning record in that situation, so that's good. But man, when you want to put teams away, you really want to put them away, and you want to overcome those 1 run. So that's really the difference between them having the year they're having and having an outstanding year.
Yeah, and it's a timely hit here. It's getting consistent at the plate and manufacturing runs and things that she feels like her team's just right there on the edge. But you look at that last inning there, they had bases loaded and a golden opportunity on the road, and I can see the frustration, but she was trying to encourage the ladies that there's still a lot of softball left on the table.
No doubt about it. And in the circle, Moore has done a good job for them and continues to pitch well. Young lady out of Valley Springs, Crowder College. 1-0, now a 2-0 to J.L. Austin. I thought it was interesting, too, talking to Coach Strimple. I could just tell her emphasis on, as you see J.L. batting .255, on JUCO players. She played at NEO. She says some of the toughest players I ever played against or played with was in junior college, and Austin lays that one down beautifully. Great speed. That's a bunt single, and the Cowgirls have a hit on the board. It's the first hit of the ball game for the Cowgirls.
No chance of getting Austin there. Powerful runner with speed down the line and perfect placement of that bunt.
Cowgirls had a hit by pitch and a walk. That's the first hit of the day for either team, as Claire Tim will turn the order over for Oklahoma State. Struck out her first time up. Finish that thought here in just a minute on Coach Strimple as Tim tries to lay one down too. But she said, so you could tell when a coach has a heart for where they came from, right? I'm going to turn my back on junior college softball. That's where I came from. And so I think she thinks she has she knows what she's looking for trait-wise from those young ladies that can fill a role at Tulsa. And it's a coach that's been there that can see it, and you always kind of love to see that passion in a coach that doesn't forget where they came from.
No question. She talked about Tulsa being a smaller school. It was a family atmosphere where, your professors are coming to your games. Everybody knows everybody on the campus, and you're just a quick walk to the facility because you're in the dorms, you're in the apartments. You can get over to the facility. You can keep grinding, developing your game. And, the way she talked about just Tulsa softball and the way she recruits and the family atmosphere was pretty exciting.
No doubt about it. Is a 3-0 count here to Tim. There's a strike. As she said, when you go into class, people in that class watched you play. They either watched you on TV, ESPN Plus, they came out to the games. They know who you are. You're not a name, you're not a number, you're a name. And she said that, and yes, when I say you're going to be seen in class, we don't do that online stuff. Kids are actually in the classroom around here. As that one is hit into the alley, but a great job there by Garcia, showing that speed and going to get the double up as she does. And the Cowgirls get doubled up there with a great play by Garcia. That's the top 10 type plays we've been talking about.
She just has a knack for making big plays, and it starts with reading the ball off the bat. That looked like a clear base hit into the gap that Garcia just took it away and then came up firing with the crow hop and just the rocket to first base.
J.L. Austin just did not think there was any chance that was going to be caught. And she instead gets doubled up, gets caught in between the bags. As that one is hit by Carly Godwin. Scooped up by Ray. Across the diamonds. Foot stays on the bag. Good job by Skaggs. And the Cowgirls threaten, but they can't complete the action. We have played 3. It's still 0-0 in Stillwater. Stillwater, Oklahoma, Coach Strimple, 7th season as the head coach of Tulsa. Of course, took over for John Barfeld, who left Tulsa to become the pitching coach for Oklahoma State. Been a part of 10 NCAA tournament appearances, 6-time conference tournament champion while on staff. Led the Hurricane to the highest ranked wins since 2009, back in 2024. And a 3-0 win versus number 4 Oklahoma State to her credit as well. And again, this Coach Strimple did a great job after Coach Barfeld left and came to Stillwater. And her resume has been good. And, you asked her, why Tulsa? All right, Coach, if I'm a possible student athlete sitting in front of you, why Tulsa? And you've already kind of expressed what she talked about with the small atmosphere and all those things as Macy Cole. But the passion in which she was talking, you can see why somebody would want to go play for her.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and she's lived it. She's been there a long time. She talked about, when you come here, you get a great education. You play in a great league. It's family-oriented. Not only just the university, but the football or the baseball, softball, whatever. The softball program is just truly a family. And, she talked about professors coming out to the games and just – she had the recruiting pitch dialed in.
Yeah, she had an answer. If you didn't want to know the answer, you shouldn't have asked it, because she had that one. And you mentioned smart kids. I mean, engineering degrees and pre-med and a lot of different intelligent degrees. She goes, the student aspect of what we do here is extremely important, and just did a great job of selling the conviction of the program as Macy Cole will go down swinging. Much better start to the top of the 4th for Ruby Malin and the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Malin trying to settle in here and
went to that drop ball for the first time. She's been going high for the second time through. Now she's got 4 Ks, and that's the second time she struck out Macy Cole. But it's one of the few times we've seen her try to go right back to the drop ball. And let's see if that is more effective for her here the second time around, as Carey continues to make those calls from the dugout.
So far, we've had some nice defensive plays for both teams in this game.
Strike call for Faith Russell. Rounded out her first time up, batting .287 on the season. Second baseman.
Coach talked about her play at second base and what a big big position playing second is, and people kind of take that for granted.
I say she plays very light on her feet and needs to even be lighter, but that's, she said, you know, you could tell she almost felt like second was more important than short to some degree, as that one is hit. Speaking of short, second time we've seen a line drive hit to Aubrey Jones, and the second catch and put out for her on the banks for Oklahoma State.
Nice job of reading and timing up that line drive.
Knock on wood, but this has been a very clean ball game. You mentioned the defensive efforts. Every time somebody gets a runner on, terrific plays. Cowgirls did walk the bases loaded in the last inning, but got out of that with some terrific pitching and defense. Tulsa doubled the Cowgirls up on the next inning, and it's been a very clean game so far for these two teams as Vickery steps in. Struck out last time.
She talked about Vickery with the just the receiving side of the game behind the plate. She thought the pitchers with the full staff really gained confidence with Vickery behind the plate.
That battery chemistry is so big, and there's some big swings by Vickery, but they don't connect, and the victory goes to Ruby Malin. Another strikeout for Ruby. This time she goes up high, and the Cowgirls go to the bottom of the fourth looking for their first run of the ball game here in Stillwater at Cowgirl Stadium. Well, what are the accolades for this gentleman? We looked at Coach Stremples. How about Coach Kenny G? Made 10 NCAA tournament appearances in all of his seasons. 5 straight Women's College World appearances, won school's first Big 12 title, coached 22 All-Americans, 50 All-Big 12 selections, and he's a hand around the kitchen. He actually knows how to make sourdough bread. I mean, listen, you can win all those games and make sourdough bread. I mean, that's pretty big time right there.
Yeah, definitely multi-talented coach in Kenny Gajewski. He's you know, that's a big hit on social.
Yeah, listen, he was a little upset. I talked to him earlier today. He, you know, they did a April Fool's joke on him when they put a bunch of his girls were wearing tattoos of his face on their body, on their calves, on their face. He thought they were real initially until he saw several of them. He knew it wasn't. Then he pulled a prank on them and had an explosion against one of the creatives, saying, "I told you I don't want you to film this session." And he slaps the camera out of the creative's hands, and the kids they couldn't believe what they were seeing. And he looked at him and he said, "Psych, I got you back for what you guys did to me." I bring that post up simply because we see Rosie Davis batting .323. That has 119,000 likes, somewhere in that neighborhood. He's disappointed that the sourdough bread has only reached 19. He feels like it's not getting the traction it really deserves.
I think that video is just kind of on deck for, I don't know, the next stage. It was like the Pioneer Woman and Kenny Gajewski meet up in Stillwater for the next special.
Oh, listen, man, there are a lot of places I could go with a lot of that conversation, but Tyler told me I better behave, so I'm going to behave as Davis takes that one for a strike. The count goes to 3-2.
You know, but when you tell those types of stories, this team loves each other. This team plays for each other. This team has the jokes. They have fun. They play the game the right way, too.
They have very difficult conversations as Davis takes that walk. And the Cowgirls have a runner aboard again here in the bottom of the fourth, as they've been able to get runners on, just haven't been able to do a whole lot with it. Only one hit in this game, yet the Cowgirls drew a walk. They were hit by a pitch, did have the bunt single, and now another walk. So Tulsa's had a couple as well, but most of those have come by way of walk. One hit to this point, as Lexi McDonald lays down a terrific bunt, moves Davis over, and the sac bunt works perfectly.
That's how you dial it up. Nice play defensively for Tulsa's. Third baseman made the play.
Cole came in a hurry and had no chance on the lead. runner, so does make the play to get the force with the sack bunt. Works runner in scoring position with one gone. And that'll bring up the catcher. Amanda Hassler got hit by a pitch her first time up.
For Hassler, she's reached base in 20 consecutive games, but let's not forget the stolen base. 6 stolen bases this year.
Very capable in that regard. By the way, you have to give credit where credit's due. You know, you talked about the culture of this team, and if you're going to start with bread, you got to start with culture and an active yeast. Katie Norris is the one that loaned him the starter to get him going. And he says he's just kept it going the entire time. He's got the full array of tools necessary to bake a perfect sourdough loaf of bread. And that went off the knob of Hassler. So she's hit the knob twice and she's been hit once. And again, that doesn't look like the man of a baker. That doesn't look like the face of a baker. But
he's got his game face on, whether it's Cowgirl Stadium or the kitchen. He's ready. I'm just wondering when you're going to get the starter ease to start.
Don't think I haven't thought about it. Another one off the knob. Maybe working on a record of, and that time it got her left hand, and she's trying to walk that one off a little bit. And Kenny G will come over and check on Amanda Hassler. NC State transfer, senior for the Cowgirls. Ooh, got the knuckles on that left hand.
Kenny having a nice conversation with the home plate umpire, Terry Holt.
Terry Holt, home plate umpire. And now they're going to look. I guess Kenny Gaiassi's going to challenge as Brent Harden and Garrett Knowles on the bags. Going to challenge to see whether this hit her. And help me out with if it hits the hand. I don't think we've got a case here. If you're Oklahoma State, if you're Tulsa, you're like, that's the right call.
Yeah, it looked like she kind of was pulling back and hit off her hand versus swing and part of the bat.
Let's see if we can take another look at this and maybe get an idea of, it looks, I don't think it comes and hits her forearm. I think that hits her hand, which is not going to result in a hit by pitch. So we'll see if there's something maybe we're missing there. We've talked about that. We talk about rule changes all the time, and there's obviously a lot of things that happen. Kenny Gajewski is the president of the National Softball Coaches Association. In rule changes, and there's a lot of reasons why they have rule changes. One thing we need is a little more communication from the umpires as to what these stoppages are, because while they're important and they certainly have a big part of the game, sometimes the fans just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, the direct line, especially to the fans, to the press box, to the TV, radio. There's a ton of people that are engaged in this to get an answer, and they're in there watching 1 million views right now of the play.
Right.
And I saw Jesse Martin, the sport rep for Cowgirl softball, heading towards the box over there, but they're in there analyzing every angle. There's multiple cameras throughout this entire stadium, a ton of angles we don't even have access to.
Absolutely. So you have look at one here. Maybe did it get the elbow first? Maybe got the backhand. Again, we'll have to, hopefully we'll have some explanation. By the way, this is an opportunity for me to say something that that rarely happens. Bobby Blackburn is producing the radio games tonight being called for the Oklahoma State Cowgirl and Cowboy Network. Tyler Blackburn is producing the television side. I don't know we've ever had two Blackburns producing at the same time, and it's a proud day for the family.
No question. It's we're going to make a plaque and make sure it hangs up next to the sourdough machine.
Let's see if this is a sour opinion or not.
Field stands, foul ball. That's Oklahoma State's first challenge.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I'm not sure what Oklahoma State, if Amanda Hassler had felt like it hit her higher up on her wrist initially, but I think that's the right call right there. And so the count will stay 2-2, and we will play on.
We had the privilege of just kind of overhearing Kenny talking with Holt behind the plate, but it's interesting in the game of softball now how people are using the challenges. Are they extending the time? They're always checking runners left early. They're using this to extend the time for pitchers to break up a rally, whatever the case may be. That's been across the board in college softball.
Well, yeah, and there's been a few Hail Marys thrown as well, just trying to see if you can catch something. As that one is hit into center field, it's going to carry. Glenn gets there, and Davis will have to go back, and there's out number 2 in the inning. As we get back, game situation set you back up. The Cowgirls do have a runner in scoring position. That's Rosie Davis, who drew the walk. Lexi McDonald laid down a sac bunt. Now Hassler with the fly out to center field. That'll bring up the left fielder, Tia Warsop, who will try to put the first run on the board for either team. And that one's got a chance. Nope, going to drift just foul. It had a chance and then spun late. Wind blowing that way certainly helped that one carry foul, but that's a good cut by Tia Warsop.
Yeah, good contact. Ball down in that corner. Definitely has a chance to score Davis, but it'd be probably going to end up trading spots with her at second.
The other thing is, too, though, if you don't hit the line, Garcia's going to get there. I mean, Garcia's already showed how much speed she has in left field. So if you don't get close to that line, you try to go opposite the way Warsop did, Garcia is going to be there. We've seen that speed on display already once here tonight. It's almost as if she thinks, I think the left field wall's talking to her right now. Little smile on Garcia's face. The social, very communicative to the left fielders of the opponents. And I think we saw the result of that. She didn't want to show that she heard them, but I think something being said back there she's hearing. The great thing about that, too, is it could be very, a bad situation, but most opponents and coaches say, yeah, they're usually just funny stuff they say back over there. That one crawls out of the zone. 2-2.
Coaches talk about how much it adds to the game, and a lot of coaches, we talked to Nebraska earlier this year, they're talking about kind of mimicking this setup just because of how much it adds to the game day.
One of the best in the country. I mean, I know there's places that put more people in, but as far as organically grown and developed, it has been done the right way here by Kenny Gajewski and his staff.
And there's a sky bridge out there.
There is a sky bridge, for goodness sakes. It's only about 10 feet tall, but it is a sky bridge nonetheless. Warsop going to try to use that speed, the pressure, and she is safe. Infield single for Tia Warsop as she used her speed, and Ray just didn't have the ability to get there, so the Cowgirls will have runners on the corners with only their second hit of the night.
Man, that's tough. When that ball came off the bat, you knew that with her speed, it was going to be tough.
So the Cowgirls again keeping things interesting here. Vickery comes out and makes sure everybody's got the right alignments and the right defensive call here. Knowing the force is at second or at first, not at home in this situation. And that are 2 gone. And that one is hit sharply. Madison Hoffman has done it again. Over the fence. Sound the horn.
What a huge shot to center right up to the batter's eye, and a big big lead for Oklahoma State, a 3-run shot.
2-run home run on Wednesday against Texas, a 3-run home run a week later on a following Wednesday night, and the redshirt freshman has another home run to her credit.
What a big hit. Just stayed on that ball all the way through the zone. Ball right off the bat, you knew had a chance. Into the wind. I mean, the wind's really blowing to left. That was a no-doubter.
Great hit right there, 2 outs. And how big was that? Tia Warsop beat out at first now to stay alive and keep the outs to 2 and give Madison Hoffman that opportunity. Kenny Gajewski told me this week on his coach's show that he said that young lady, as Aubrey Jones comes in 0 for 1 on the day, he said Madison Hoffman is going to do very big things around here for a long time. As Aubrey Jones spins that one off to the right side, count even at 1-1. Let's talk to, again, she came off an injury a year ago, came in as a pitcher as well, and we've been giving her some more and more ABs, but you want to earn opportunities as a designated player. Keep doing things like that right there. Way out in front of that one on the off speed was Jones, and the count 1-2. I think Jones wanted interference. I think Aubrey Jones thought that the catcher Vickery was in her way. She thought she felt he hit her glove or something of that effect, but Cowgirls not going to chance it with the next only one challenge left in this ball game. That one is hit back up the middle. Aubrey Jones on with an RBI, with a single.
A good piece of hitting, just staying down and hit that ball hard up the middle.
Yeah, you have that little bit of a disruption. Think you had interference, then you stay with it, and she pounds it right back up the middle for a single. So the Cowgirls only had 1 hit coming into this inning. They've added 3 more and now 3 runs. 2 of those hits coming with 2 outs. The big one being the home run by Madison Hoffman. Dale Austin, youngster out of Owasso, comes out swinging big.
We mentioned earlier that Jones has been swinging the bat well of late. Hits in 4 of the last 5 games.
A steal opportunity, and going to be caught stealing is Aubrey Jones, as she was trying to make it happen right there, but Aubrey Jones, first time she's not been successful. Now 5 of 6 attempts, but the home run, Hoffman, 3-run shot. Sounded the horn for the Cowgirls.
State hosts Kansas. A couple series start tomorrow with Baylor at Texas Tech and Arizona State at BYU. So still a lot of softball left to play. It'll be 3 big games here in Stillwater.
No doubt about it. Senior day coming up for the Cowgirls, as Presley Ray steps in. First at bat, had a walk. The shortstop, 1-1 now the count to her. Cool touch, Glenn Mason's team in Baylor. Cowgirls were playing down there last weekend. It was their senior day. Cowgirls do the same thing for their opponents. It's something they've done for a long time. I don't know who's replicated who, but where it started. But a nice touch. Baylor gave orange roses to the seniors of Oklahoma State and honored them as well during their senior day ceremonies. Oklahoma State will do the same thing with Kansas coming up. And I don't know, just something. Obviously, these teams go head to head. They battle, but you like it when there's that kind of sportsmanship, as Presley Ray comes up swinging in a strikeout.
For Malin in the circle, that's 3 of her last 4 outs have been strikeouts.
She's had a very interesting last couple of innings. Walk, strikeout, ground out, strikeout, walk. Then another walk, another strikeout, and a strikeout. So they're starting to mount up, but there was a lot of walks sprinkled in the middle of those. Tulsa unable to capitalize, but Garcia will try to change that for the Hurricane. Garcia, the left fielder. We've talked about her speed and her defensive effort, trying to slap her way on there. Struck out batting .257. Nobody on the bags. And behind here 0-2 with one gone. There's a slap, and Rosie tries to barehand it, but there's the speed of Garcia, and she will easily reach with the single.
Yeah, that was a no doubt with speed of Garcia. I was looking this week about some national rankings and pulled up the pitching stats overall season for Malin. First nationally in innings pitched, third in the country in strikeouts, and first in wins. That's in Big 12 play, but that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just tells you, again, keeping in mind who's down in Lubbock, Texas, right? Kennedy, the $1 million arm down there, is such a phenomenal player, and Ruby has done such a great job here for Oklahoma State. Glenn, the center fielder, falls behind 0-2. Garcia was 0-2 as well. Kind of a slap bunt, or kind of a slap bunt for Garcia, more than a slap. He laid that ball down perfectly. So Tulsa trying to answer the 3 given up in the bottom of the 4th with runs here at the top of the 5th. I mentioned John Barfield. He was fantastic coach. One time his team led, he had a series streak of 5 straight wins against Kenny Gajewski. And there's another strikeout. Kinsey Glenn swinging away at that one.
Tough pitch to handle, just high.
Hard to keep that head down on it. Straight through it. So another one here for Ruby Malin. That strikeout number 7 of the day. And she'll face Clara Skaggs here, the first baseman. John Barfield came from Tulsa and became the pitching coach at Oklahoma State. Had a fantastic run here. Now back in the league after stepping away for a year. Truly a great pitching coach. And Tulsa was always extremely good pitching-wise when he was over there. He's had an impact on both of these programs as Clara Skaggs behind 0-2. All 3 batters have started out 0-2 this inning, and there goes Garcia, and man, she is lightning fast.
Quite surprised it's only her 4th stolen base of the year.
You know, and just immediately you go back to the speed, and you go back to those numbers, and you go, how on earth is that possible? But when you look at Garcia, she has 27 hits on the season, so she has been on the bags. You would have thought she would have had 20 attempts on her own. But I guess we're going to check and see if she left early. Is that what the review is going to be here? I believe it is. So Clara Skaggs is at the plate behind in the count 1-2 as Garcia is at second after the steal. She is only 4 for 4 on the season. Let's see if she left early here.
It's pretty close. I don't see enough to overturn.
Yeah, you're going to have to go frame by frame, because it looked like it was right simultaneous. So other than breaking this thing down extremely, as I said, frame by frame, I don't think you're going to. And Garcia's looking at the board. We got a great board here at Oklahoma State. And yeah, I think that back foot is still on the bag as it leaves Ruby's hands.
This will be the 2nd challenge for Oklahoma State.
So they will have no more if this doesn't. And here's the frame by frame we were just talking about. The gone foot is still on the bag. So nope, ball's left the hand. I think Cowgirls going to lose their 2nd challenge and will be left without any. It was interesting too. How do you assign that? Who as we get the ruling?
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. That is Oklahoma State's second and final challenge.
You know, who do you have in the dugout? What mechanism do you have to put that in motion? And you know, that's something that coaching staffs have had to learn to do. Hey, if there's a runner at first, that is your job. And you know, electronics are now allowed differently than they were, so just a little different than it used to be.
No doubt. And you know, there's also a million coaches now as well, so everybody's got a special role. We talk about how technology has jumped in the game, and you know, Kenny Gajewski really talked about technology as far as the watches, whatever, but the hitting machines. You know, you can dial up any pitcher. Hitting the pitching machine will actually simulate whatever that guy's going to throw at you, so you can get extra time in the cage.
No doubt about it. And another strikeout. So Ruby ends up striking out the side with a single interrupted in the middle of that from Garcia. But the Golden Hurricane leave a runner in scoring position. Cowgirls take a 3-0 lead to the bottom half of the fifth. We're back right after this. Bring in a new pitcher, and that is number 22, Mackenzie Freeman out of Hackett, Arkansas. You got some details on this young lady.
Yeah, the freshman, coach said in that 62 to 64 range.
And how about J.L. Austin hits one sky high, but it's going to hold up at the track as that wind blowing in kept that one from hitting the scoreboard. She pounded that ball, but the wind knocked it down. And a good job in right field by Turner.
Yeah, Freeman, 62 to 64. The freshman is played in 20 games, has 7 starts, 2-2 record, 6.04 ERA. Opponent's hitting 320.
2-2 on the season for again the young lady out of Hackett, Arkansas. Facing Claire Tim for the first time tonight. And falls behind Tim 2-0. Another big hitter for Oklahoma State. Claire Tim did strike out in the first inning. Lined out in the third looking for her first hit today as she fouls that one. For the first strike of the count.
It's a leading hitter for the Cowgirls, 360 coming into this game.
Going back to Freeman, and her ERA is it's elevated, right? But just a freshman trying to get some opportunities. Has only pitched 51 innings coming in. Coach says she goes east and west and down more than anything else. So let's keep an eye on that and see where these pitches are located. Well, that one wasn't down, it was up, and Claire Tim draws a walk.
Another base runner for Oklahoma State. They've had a runner on base in every inning so far.
They have indeed. Again, only that's going to bring out the pitching coach Dreswick and conversation in the circle with a youngster. Yeah, the Cowgirls have had a lot of opportunities in this ball game, just haven't had a lot of production ultimately. Although the two-out single by Tia Warsop, followed by the 3-run 2-out home run by Madison Hoffman. So Cowgirls did get on the board with that, as they will pinch run rather at first for Claire Tim with Macy Graff.
Yeah, Graff comes in, puts speed at first. You know, with this Oklahoma State lineup, though, you can't miss your spots. And Freeman, obviously, against Tim, was having some control issues, and this Oklahoma State lineup can stack it on you real quick if you start missing your spots.
Yeah, 5 pitches, 4 balls, and a foul. And Tim now being pinch run for with Graff at first. And that brings up Carly Godwin. And I get a sense that Carly Godwin is due right now. Drew a walk, grounded out. 0 for 2.
Number 14,
New pitcher, I'm guessing. You take a little bit, or you get in there and stay aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thinking she wants to come right at you, or make her hit her spot first. I mentioned Godwin 0 for 2. Godwin is 0 for 1 with the walk. That one misses outside, and Godwin now ahead 2-0.
Godwin's been a fun player to watch here at Oklahoma State.
Came out, it was on such a tear as a freshman. That one is just going to slide right by the first baseman, and coming over his Faith, bobbles it, and Godwin will beat it out at first.
It's a super tough play for the second baseman, and I think her only chance was to try to glove flip it to first.
We had and your first baseman was trying to get there, and I think Faith may have thought that Skaggs was going to get there. Then Skaggs retreated, said, no, you. And we're going to have another pinch runner at first. Godwin will come out, and Jake Hughes will come in, and Rosie Davis has got to be salivating. Runners on, 1 out. Need to pitch to me. Ready to go. There's Macy Graff at second. And there's Jake Hughes at first. And they score that as a hit, so Godwin does get credited with a single. And here comes a youngster from Readyville, Tennessee. Davis, that one's off the end of the bat. Right side, and Turner's able to get there. Cowgirls will try to tag it up, and they do. Macy Graff was not really there in time, but the throw was wide. And the Cowgirls do have a runner at third now with 2 gone.
And that was a good throw from the right fielder. Just a little bit to the left of the bag.
It was on time, just a little wide, and Turner put that one on a rope. 2 hopped it in there, and Graff able to slide it safely. So runners on the corners, but 2 gone for Lexi McDonald. The Cowgirls will take off again. Jake Hughes will get to second. Cowgirls add another stolen base to their totals on the season, and now 2 in the scoring position. Lexi takes the strike. Silo, Oklahoma. You know that community is extremely excited the season she is having. 2-1. There is a bag open, but up next is Amanda Hassler.
McDonald looks so confident.
You talked about how well she's been playing the last several games, and you know, when it's amazing how confidence breeds confidence. It can go away extremely quickly, but when things are going well, you feel like you got the right bat in your hands. Things go well. On that 3-1, she wanted it, dropped out of the zone, 3-2.
You know, we talked about the last 14 games. She's hitting .410 coming into this, but with runners on, she's hitting .440.
That's a fantastic number. Even with runners in scoring position, she's hitting .410 on the season, and she's going to draw a walk. So they're loaded up for the first time tonight for Oklahoma State. Had this situation in Waco multiple occasions. And 2 gone, an opportunity here for the catcher.
Hassler right now, she has 28 career home runs at Oklahoma State.
How many grand slams that young lady have? I've got my stat guy doing color and asking the tough questions. It's good stuff. Opportunity for a grand slam right here. That one is going to be hit to the shortstop, though. The throw across is going to be wide a little bit, but Skaggs able to catch it, and that's the inning in the bottom half. Cowgirls leave them loaded. It's still 3-0. Cowgirls on top of Tulsa in Stillwater. It is Ruby Malin doing Ruby Malin things. 5 innings pitched, those 8 Ks. She did issue 4 walks. That's not normal for her. but been pretty efficient with 84 pitches. Most we've seen her pitch this year is 160 in one game. Had 400, roughly 415 through 3 games in about a 4-day stretch. That right arm is conditioned, and Amber Turner, the center fielder, reached on a fielder's choice. She'd really like to turn things around here.
So it's 1,024 pitches this month. For those keeping track at home.
Wow. It's a lot of pitches. That one is hit. Jones double clutches, throws to McDonald, out number 1. So routine, you know, the left side of this defense with Jones and with what you see in Rosie Davis. But, you know, again, a lot of it is because a lot of that stuff is hit softly off Ruby. Ruby's not going to give you much to hit most of the time, and you know, she's only given up 49 hits in that same time frame we're talking about. As that one is hit right back to her. She fields it extremely well too, and she almost could have tagged the bag herself, but flips it over to McDonald for out number 2.
Continues to get better as the game progresses.
She had a little bit of a trouble. She faced 3 in the first, set them down, 4 in the second, 6 in the third, 3 in the fourth, retired the side, struck out the side in the 5th, although she did give up a single, and a couple of more here. So she is in that groove. It's why she's been able to pitch complete games and why that number has gone up as highly as it has. She truly does get better as the game goes on. And that's because she has added the rise ball to the drop ball. If you only have the changeup, a little bit of the speed and then the drop ball, they're going to wait. But if you can now add that rise ball to her game, it has been remarkable.
Yeah, she works extremely hard. I mean, in the off season, trying to improve her game, and then just her routines during the season, just trying to take care of her body. And a ton has been said about her routines and sleep and eat and workout and everything she does.
I talked to her again recently, and she said, man, I'm just struggling sleeping. And she talked about how important, obviously, as you said, 10 hours. She wants 10 hours a night. I said, what's causing you not to sleep? She goes, I'm reliving the games, and I'm just waking up too much in the nighttime. And so, again, needed a little bit of rest, mental rest, and she's been able to get that, and now she has seemingly got her second win as that one's fouled out by Cole. Count even at 2-2 to Cole.
10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
That's probably what you average, I'm guessing.
Per week.
Yeah.
There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 9. Right on cue as Ruby Malin continues to put on the show here in Stillwater. Only one hit for the Golden Hurricane. The Cowgirls lead at 3-0. Well, there's a good look at the line score. There's a good look at our producer, our director, Madison's dad. That is Doc Brophy right there. And he is. It's time to go get a refill of Coke or something. As Oklahoma State's used a 3 spot in the 4th, 5 hits. Outscored Tulsa, or out-hit Tulsa 5-1. Outscored them 3-0. And you know, for some people that may be boring. I look at that and I think, man, Ruby Malin, fantastic effort. Tulsa, all but one pitch, really good effort in the circle.
Yeah, it's been a great game. I mean, both teams competing. You look at the big home run from Hoffman being the difference maker. So we'll have a pinch hitter here for Oklahoma State, Henderson.
Number 17, Montgomery Henderson.
Montgomery Henderson has been really good. By the way, that's a good look right there. I told you it's a little bit cooler here tonight. It's been a cooler week here after some storms over the last week or so. And the young lady's got her water and some candy, and her team has a lead. Montgomery Henderson out of Katy, Texas. Batting .429. Coaches talked about getting more kids opportunities. Madison Hoffman was one of them. This is another one. He is so impressed with Henderson, but there just hasn't been a place for her to get opportunities and swings. And in a midweek game with a 3-0 lead, In the bottom of the 6th, here's her opportunity, her chance. In batting .429, she's done well. There's a ball out of the zone. 2-1 to count to her.
It's all about taking advantage of it right now.
That is exactly right, man. You think about it too. You go, I get one game. I've been sitting on that bench the whole time. You get one swing, and I've got to deliver. But when your numbers are .429, you've done that.
Kinesiology major. You said Katy, Texas, a freshman, 6 foot.
Yep. And draws a walk, so her on-base percentage will go up. Nice job right there.
See if we're going to have a re-enter situation as Worsup will come back in.
That is correct. It's a good job there by Henderson, making the most of that opportunity. Tia Worsup. Tia went to England for her grandmother's funeral and actually came back game day against Baylor in game 1. And she has really delivered, have an outstanding season for Oklahoma State, proving that she's way more than just speed. She's got the entire package. Madison Hoffman, opportunity today, and she has made the most of it. She is the reason the Cowgirls have a 3-run lead, a 3-run home run, and Coach Dreswick is going to come out, Coach Drez as they call her, and they're going to talk this one over again. Hoffman out of Lee's Summit, Missouri.
Dancing on the over there in the on-deck circle. Keeping things light.
It is bark at the park day, but those two kiddos over there, that looks like they're dancing behind the bullpen of Tulsa. And Coach Drez is coaching. Got a freshman. Need to make sure that they understand exactly what you're looking at, it's what you need, and making sure the situation, everybody's got the right communication here. You know, if you're Tulsa, you're still in this ball game. I mean, this is the exact same score that the Cowgirls had against Texas, basically at this point. You're very much in this game, but the Cowgirls blew it open with a 2-run shot as Tia Worsup literally could have run that, stole that bag twice. Got hit in the back and holding her back a little bit. Looks to be okay. But it was Hoffman's 2-run shot in Austin that gave the Cowgirls more insurance in the top of the 7th in that game. Went on to beat Texas 5-0. And maybe a challenge coming here. I mean, Tia was so far across so quickly. They may have felt she left early. Let's see if that's the case.
The ruling on the field is that the runner did not leave early. Tulsa is challenging that ruling. Play is under further review.
Well, it's one of those things. You know, I was talking to Coach Barry Hinson. This is an old saying, right? But Tia Worsup's got the speed to turn the light off and then get into bed before it gets dark. That's how quick she is. She was so close to second base before that ball got there. It's almost unpresumable that she could not have left early, but she has that kind of speed. Going frame by frame again here. Ball's out, foot is attached. It's worth the risk, right? You got 2. You're in the point of the game right here, trying to get an out. Got a youngster in the circle, but I think that call is going to, it'll be confirmed just like the last one was. There is a good look at the video board.
Yeah, I think that's going to be her 9th stolen base of the year. One thing I liked about the stolen base is she was there way ahead of time, but came up looking for where that ball's at to potentially take third.
Yeah, because it hit her, so she knew they didn't have it, and where did it carry them to? Where did it go? And yeah, that's a very short review, as it should be, because it's going to be confirmed.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner did not leave early. She is safe. That is Tulsa's first challenge.
So 3 challenges in this game, 0 successful to this point. And Tulsa is, they still have 1. Cowgirls do not have any remaining challenges in this one. And Madison Hoffman steps back in. Hits it hard down the line. It's going to go to the wall. It's going to be another RBI for Madison Hoffman. It's going to be a triple for Madison Hoffman. Madison Hoffman putting up the numbers tonight in that DP spot. Home run and an RBI triple as the Cowgirls have a 4-0 lead.
First triple of her career.
How about this? Ripped it right down the line, got it by Skaggs, and that is a tight line, but so well hit, and it rolls all the way to the corner.
She was on the move right out of the box.
Great job there. Listen, you are a redshirt freshman coming off a knee injury. Those are so obviously difficult to come from. You work in the football programs around, and you see a lot of those injuries. It's so hard for young people, as we've got a change in the circle we'll get to, but that is so difficult. So for her to come in and hit a home run with this opportunity, then hit a triple, pretty impressive stuff as we see Brentley Maples out of Moore, Oklahoma. Young lady out of McLennan Community College, played at South Moore. 77 2/3 innings pitched, 4-7 on the season. What do we know about Miss Maples?
Well, Maples has typically been the game 2 starter for Tulsa and pitched that way last weekend. But the hardest thrower on this staff, tops out at about 68, a senior, rise, curve, drop, and has been working on her off speed. Throws a drop ball about 70% of the time, and really, again, mixing up the speeds to keep the batters off balance.
She started the first game against these two teams. In fact, Maples pitched 4 2/3 in the first game, gave up 5 hits and 5 runs. Did have 4 strikeouts and a couple of walks. But she is tasked with getting the outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Talked about it, 3-0. You had them right where Texas had them. You're looking for more run support, and they just got it, did Oklahoma State. And now with a runner at third, Aubrey Jones has a chance to do more. Cowgirls now with 6 hits on the day as Jones takes the strike.
This Oklahoma State team in the last couple innings starting to have fun, starting to kind of get in a rhythm at the plate.
That one fouled back, in the count 0-2 here for Jones. In a sack situation, opportunity for her. I'm sure she would rather just punch one through like she did the last time up. And that single, but then got caught stealing. And that one's on the outside plate. That's a tough one to stay away from, but she does. Good job. Good bit of plate discipline there by Jones. She rode that ball all the way to the outside. Looked like she was ready to pull the trigger and just wisely let it go by. Got to protect when there's 2 strikes now, 1-2. That one misses up in the zone, 2-2.
In this bottom part of the lineup for Oklahoma State, in the 7, 8, 9 holes, there's 4 hits tonight at that bottom of the lineup.
Well, 6 total. 4 from that. That's pretty good production, right? That's a great number, great find as that one is hit. There's another one by the bottom of the order, and the first non-Hoffman RBI tonight as Jones knocks in Hoffman, and the Cowgirls take a 5-0 lead.
Pitch on the outside.
Stayed with it and poked it through. And she hit that ball hard. And Hoffman will score, and the Cowgirls take the 5-0 lead.
A pinch runner going to first. Booker.
Shows she's got some great speed on the bags. Saw her make a running error in the early in the season, and since then she has been phenomenal. Doing a good job of making the most of her opportunities. She'll be a bigger part of what this team does in the upcoming season, but right now they need that speed, and she presents that. for them is Lexi McDonald getting ready to swing away for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, so we're going to have a pinch runner in Booker, and then we're also going to have a pitch hitter with Jaden Jones. So back-to-back Jones at bats here for the Cowgirls.
Yeah, I think I saw the one and thought that was Lexi. Obviously, that is not. That is Jaden Jones. Started the season as the second baseman. Struggled a little bit offensively, and she's had a good offensive output at times for the season. She's had a couple of good games, then started to struggle a little bit, and some of the changes were made, but we talk about making the most of opportunities. Here's one right here for the Gaylord Michigan product. Ooh, tough call right there on the outer third. 1-1 to count.
You know, Oklahoma State started this season with both of them up the middle.
Yep. Aubrey on the left side, Jaden on the right side, and a lot of talent between those two young ladies. Good job right there. That pitch almost the exact same location. They just got a strike call on it. Good job of letting it go to 2-1.
Jaden started her career at Virginia Tech.
Fouls that one off. Count 2-2. Yeah, I talked about not knowing she was going to get a chance to play with her sister. Of course, played when they were younger. And same travel teams, but didn't know if she was going to get a chance to play again with Aubrey. And lo and behold, they both become Cowgirls. Aubrey, a freshman, but already been contributed as a. That one is going to be hit. You got a freeze on the line, and the Cowgirls are going to get doubled up right there as Jaden Jones rifles that to Ray. Booker takes off. They throw behind her, and they get the double play there. Finish that thought. Macy or Aubrey Jones is already being heralded as kind of a leader on this team, a vocal kid already. That's a youngster, not something you see very often, but she has done that. Has been that for Oklahoma State. As Macy Graff will get her chance. We saw her run earlier. Now she'll get a pinch hitting opportunity for her first hit of the season.
She comes in defensively in the outfield for Oklahoma State, and has played especially in the second half, later parts of the game, and she's a senior. Plays well defensively.
Yeah, she has tremendous defensive upside, and they really like her in the field. Of course, the batting average is the problem. She's struggled a little bit from the offensive side of it, but they've used her to run. They've used her in crucial moments when they need defense and they want the sure glove. Macy's going to find a spot in that outfield.
Maples in the circle, really kind of relying on the off speed.
We talked to Coach about that. She said, sometimes, you may see kids run up 15 to 20% off speed. And I asked her what that happy medium is, and she said it just depends on what your off speed does. But this is a team that definitely uses a lot of off speed. Every pitcher she talked about, and she didn't say changeup. She said sometimes our changeup isn't as true a changeup as you might anticipate, but we just try to take 5 to 6, 7 miles an hour off of it and just throw the off speed. That one is hit by by Macy Graff, but it is chopped foul, and that off speed she was out in front of. Maples can hit it 68 pretty consistently. That one is popped straight up, and the third baseman will come in, and Cole will call for it and get the third out of the inning. But Tulsa gives up 2 more. They've got to find 5 to extend this one. Cowgirls lead at 5-0 going to the last frame here in the 7th.
And, Aubrey Jones will re-enter at shortstop. So just Cowgirls getting back to the lineup.
I think Graff went to left, and Tia may have gone to right. I may be wrong. That may still be Tim. And there is Graff right on cue. Talking about her glove, made the jump, saw it, That's the defensive effort that senior gives you. She is so good in the field for the Cowgirls. Great job. That ball came out, and it was dropping below the waist, down by her feet, and she's able to make that play right there.
Tulsa's going to have a pinch hitter in Scarborough.
So Aaliyah Scarborough out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Broken Arrow High School. Batting .261 and takes ball one just outside. A sophomore. Batting .261 with 5 RBI on the season. It's that one right over to McDonald. Steps in the bag. There is out. Number 2. So terrific defense so far. Great play by Macy Graff in left. And McDonald, fantastic play right there. She gloves it, steps on the bag, and the Golden Hurricane are down to their final outs.
Look at Malin staring another complete game in the face here.
Would be number 9 in a row, correct? Which
Correct.
would match Carrie Eberle's effort back 4 to 5 years ago.
Pinch hitting for Tulsa, number 13, Aaliyah Kabuyaban.
13 pinch hitting.
Absolutely, and another opportunity here. This is Malia Kabuyaban, freshman out of Liberty, Missouri, batting .194. It's that one sharp. J.L. Austin on the run. J.L. Austin makes the catch, and the Cowgirls get not only a complete game, but a complete game shutout as they sound the horn for the victory, and the Cowgirls will get on the season their 35th victory, and this one was a good one. It gets them set up going into the Kansas series, but what a fantastic game right here by the Oklahoma State Cowgirls.
Yeah, the Malin in the circle. I mean, she gets her 9th complete game, and you get the Hoffman home run. So everybody got to play. It was just an overall good game, a great crowd, a great kind of wrap up to the non-conference slate.
First time since 2020 that they had gotten 9 complete victories, shutout victories like that. Not shutout, but complete victories for Ruby Malin. So now then, you've built the momentum. You can't let it slip if you're Oklahoma State against Kansas. For Tulsa, get some momentum, get to the American, and find a way to win that thing.
Yeah, it's about finishing strong at this point and get into conference tournament time. And for Oklahoma State, that's Kansas. You look